Ichigo is often memed due to being a hybrid of every race in Bleach. Despite his Quincy, Hollow, Soul Reaper and Fullbringer heritage, he fights alongside the 13 court guard squads throughout the series. What if I told you that things could be different? In today's video we will be exploring what would happen if our favorite Strawberry, the substitute Soul Reaper of Karakura, became one of Aizen's most refined soldiers, the Espada.
天差残月一瞬で終わらせてやる月が天使全ての力をこの斬撃に込めることだけだ俺自身の力で
In this timeline, the Gotei 13 find out about Masaki and Isshin. Due to nature of the event, Central 46 orders to death of Ichigo, Isshin and Masaki. Kyoka Suigetsu allows Aizen to trick everyone into forgetting about Ichigo's existence. After the death of his parents, Ichigo becomes a hollow, roaming around the sands of Hueco Mundo. He would meet two other Ajuchas hollows, them being Grimmjow and Neliel. All three of three would eventually become Vastolord, and develop a kind of bond between each other. Eventually Aizen, Tozen and Jin find them and recruit them to become Arrancar and join the Espada. Aizen also entices Ichigo by telling him that they will destroy the Soul Society and the Shinigami. This leads to all three of them becoming Arrancars. As one of Aizen's swords, Ichigo eclipses every other Espada and Arrancar in strength, becoming the Zero Espada. He will actually have two aspects of death, revenge and desperation. These two aspects of his soul would push him to become even stronger. He would be chill with most of the Espada, becoming friends with people like Stark, Halibel and maybe even Ulquiorra. Ichigo trains with Aizen, in order to unleash Ichigo's full potential. This would all accumulate in Ichigo's Resurrection form called Zangetsu Obliterer. This form combines his Hollow, Shinigami, Fullbring and Quincy powers into one form. His hair turns black and he wields a gigantic black blade. In this form Ichigo can use two special Zero techniques. The first is called Zero Devourer. This Zero uses his Quincy powers to devour all Erasure in the surrounding area, similar to Sclaverai. The other Zero is called Zero Oblivion. This combines his Hollow and Fullbring powers, that fires off a Zero which destroys anything it touches without exception. Ichigo would also be able to evolve techniques like his Getsuga Tensho and Bala into Gran Ray variants. Ichigo would also inspire other Arrancars like Grimmjow and Neliel to train and become stronger. After Ichigo actually becomes an Espada, he is sent to capture Orihime Inoue. I see him remembering Inoue from his human life, going as far as making her his fractions, while at the same time the Soul Society would come to Hueco Mundo in order to finally defeat Aizen. Ichigo, Neliel, Grimmjow and Ulquiorra would immediately confront the Shinigami. Ichigo would easily eliminate characters like Ranjaku and Omida. Before he lashes out at any more people, the Vizard arrives and confronts Ichigo. Still, even with something like Shinji's Shirkai, Ichigo easily kills all the Vizards. Eventually all the other Espada and Arrancar would arrive and from there they would decimate the rest of the Soul Reapers. After this, Ichigo would go to the Soul Society, and tear down everyone and everything inside of it. Aizen needs to speed up the Hogiku in order to create the Oken. However, that will lead to the destruction of Karakura town. So Ichigo fights Aizen so the Hogyoku speeds up. This leads to Aizen transcending everything, being able to create the Oken at will. Aizen then goes up to the royal palace where he effortlessly destroys Squad Zero. He then becomes the Soul King, recreating the Soul Society and basically becoming a god. From here Ichigo would have his soul remade by Aizen, back into his human form. He then returns to Karakura town, marrying Orihime, and living a quiet life. Before anyone asks about the Sternritters or the Hell Arc, Aizen would literally just kill Yuach, and then grant the Quincy's their own separate world to live in, with Yuryu being selected as the new Quincy Emperor. Aizen also just casts a seal on Hell, similar to how the royal palace can't be accessed. As for the Shinigami and Espada, well, after the Soul Society is destroyed the rest of the Espada would absorb the erasure of the Shinigami, becoming even stronger. From here Grimmjow, Halibel, Stark, Ulquiorra and Neliel would rule over Hueco Mundo, killing Barragan and Neutra since they are toxic and would get in the way. Ichigo would often visit Hueco Mundo, along with Orihime and his son Kazui. So yeah, that what would happen if Ichigo became an Espada. I plan to make one for Sternritter Ichigo. If you guys have any ideas about what that could look like, leave it in the comments. Kuragami logging off.